Well, I'm talking now with John Guest. You may remember John has been seen in Tynwald Day this year, holding up a placard. We were taking some shots of that, John, and certainly a bit of a surprise to see that sort of thing. But that was a story itself we'll come to in a moment. But Knottfield, of course, everyone knows, I think, the story that you went through the system there. I have to say, obviously, we have been warned by the police that we've got to be careful, and I do accept that, and we totally understand we cannot go into anything that will cause subjudice, problems in the courts.
I understand.
And that, I know, will limit you on what you can say today. But I'm fascinated and with the story because...
Well, I hope the nation is fascinated by the true story. Well, by the true story, not by by the story they're hearing, by the press and the committee, by the true story. The true story needs to be told of the story of Knottfield.
Well, this is the report, a massive amount here, which, of course... that's what recently has been discussed. Yeah. Your views on that is?
Well, my personal view is it's a scam report, it's been rushed, and it doesn't investigate the true story of Knottfield and the abuse.
Are you calling it a whitewash then, as such?
Sorry? I'm not saying it's a whitewash.
No.
I'm just saying it wasn't carried out in what I would call a true manner, to investigate what actually happened at Knottfield.
So, forgive me because I don't know the ins and outs of all this thing. You gave input into this, did you?
Yes, I did.
So what didn't happen then? Did they not take what you wanted them to do, or what?
Yeah, no. I believe I gave my full true story to the select committee in private session first, and then I gave it. They asked me to, and I agreed to speak in publicly. So I gave up my anonymity to speak about what happened to me in the children's home. But when they arranged the select committee, I believe that it should have been an English barrister or a QC from the UK to chair the committee to ask the searching questions that needed to be asked, and the legal questions that needed to be asked to the people who came up in front of the committee, who are named and in this report. Questions that I feel that I could have asked the QC through legal representation that I've been denied, that I wanted to ask. And now this report has come out. I just feel that it's very weak and it doesn't tell the story of what happened to us and the way that our care was provided by the government, who provided the funds for the children's home.
So not whitewash, but is it a cover-up in your view?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a cover-up. I'd just say the questions, the relevant questions have not been asked, and the people who should have been in front of the committee, like the Children's Centre, who provided our care, refused to go in front of the committee, they just didn't accept an invitation to come and speak, which were one of the main parties of this investigation.
I mean, when did this all trigger off? I mean, obviously Kerry Sharp wrote the book, and that's a controversy in itself because of what's going on between the two parties there. Yeah. But when did this all come to light? Was it that book that set the ball rolling, or have you been hammering on about this for some time behind the scenes, or what?
Well, it's been I personally was involved through the history of the children's home from the late 60s through until the late 70s, early 80s, and I kind of put it to the back of my mind, the horrific things that happened to me. And in '92, I believe, a young detective constable called Gary Roberts.
Oh, the chief constable. Okay, just be careful.
No, at the time he was just a DC, right? And he was investigating in the Knottfield case. And that's when I became embroiled in the case. So from '92, but from '93 onwards, I kind of had to live with my trauma, and I got help to get over my trauma. Mentally, I kind of had a bit of a relapse, and then I forgot about it again. And come 2015, I heard rumours through my family and others that this book was being investigated about the Isle of Man Children's Home. That somebody was writing a book, and I just didn't know what was going on about it. So then the next thing, I'd received a telephone call from a police officer in 2015 while I was at work, and asking intrusive questions about my past at Knottfield. And it upset me quite badly, and I left my job, and I got a bit of a depression state at the time. And I found out that it happened, this situation that was happening to me, and this mental kind of breakdown I was having, was happening to other people, other victims as well. One in case, he was contemplating suicide, and he was left in his car outside the police station in a traumatised state. Another one was violently sick, and it hasn't worked since, and he's under heavy medical care now. And sadly, one person who was embroiled in it, a very good friend, I won't name, he has actually taken his life, and as I believe is a direct cause of this case.
Okay. Did you not get support? I mean, now it's probably a lot different. In your day, was it much harder to do this?
In 2015, 2016, when this was all happening, we were not offered any support at all. My brother, believe it or not, he was actually sent a text message by the police saying that victim support was available to help him, and victim support are not structured to give advice. They're there to listen to you and give a shoulder to cry on. And he was told by victim support they're not structured to give this help and advice. So these people were left traumatised in their homes. They couldn't work. So I brought it upon myself to go to the police station and demand that they stop what they were doing and in the way they were proceeding with this case. Uncompassionate, unprofessional way they proceeded with this case. And I started off speaking to a constable. They spoke to me, and I spoke to a sergeant. I came back the next day. I spoke to an inspector, and with my fighting and going on, I was told that yes, this would be stopped. I wanted to complain about it, the way their actions were affecting me and my family and other people, and I was told by an inspector, which I will not name, that my complaint would be put down as a dissatisfied customer. I was classed as a dissatisfied customer, given a piece of paper and told to go away. That was the way the police were handling this case. And people were left in their homes in a traumatised state because of the way they were investigating this case.
I think people would be staggered by hearing this.
Well, that is I'm staggered. And because of my strength and because it happened to me before, I had this sort of resilience to stand up. Even though I had to leave my job, I left my work and I was upset.
Okay, I mean, you obviously clearly need some counselling still, I'm guessing.
Well, I don't know. I mentally myself, I kind of pushed it to the back of my life and I got on my life. I'm a settled person, I'm a married man. And but what happened in 2015 with the police with me, they've dragged it all back up in my mind, and it's affected me again and my family and other friends as well. And sadly, to the extent of one of my friends is now deceased. Another sad situation was that the police informed me that another person involved as well was deceased as well, and I inquired as to, because he was a good friend of mine, I inquired as to where had he passed away and where his remains, where could I go to pay some respects to his passing. And so I got the information through email. I've got the email information here which they sent me on this case, and then it aspired that this person isn't dead. They don't think he is dead now. He's still alive. Right. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? They're feeding me this false information. So I asked the police to put a public apology out that they'd been giving me this false information, and they've refused to do this basic humanity thing to me, to say that they told me this false information. This is what I'm fighting, and my brothers and family and everybody is fighting against, as well as the government we're fighting against, the Children's Centre. These are the things that we're fighting against to try and get justice.